Okay, getting started. Oh, what? Okay, we are working. Let's just post this in Discord. Let people join. Okay, I think this is going to be better this time. The Wi-Fi is working. This is, I mean, boy, I can't get off to much of a better start. Just think I need to give myself a little more time, and I think because I'm on like my work computer and I transfer over to the other one, and I think my Wi-Fi just takes like a while to be like I can't do two computers. I don't know, but post. Posted in Deposit Kingdom. People love it. Everyone lives for it. All right. Close. And let's make sure this is on the right. Yep. Okay. Okay. We got how many people here right now? All right, we got 4. What's up? Yeah, let's just get after it. All right. Hopefully Wookiee's here, always representing the Wook man. I'm gonna try this screen. I'm gonna try to present. I'm gonna not mess it up this time. Hold on. I did a lot this time. I think I'm ready. I mean, this part doesn't count. These 2 minutes doesn't count. Yeah, I bought this in Oregon, so yeah. This was my best buy of the trip. I went to the official Oregon Duck store in Portland, and this was on sale for like half price. I mean, I wear it all the time now. It's really cool. Okay. Just need to do 2 things here, and there we go. Oh no. There we go. Okay, now we're actually good to go. I was so close to being 100% ready. I was really proud of myself. Um, we're gonna try this angle here, and we're gonna try to just run through. And I'm gonna just I will kind of go back and forth. So I have the PowerPoint set up. I'm gonna kind of just start here. I might add a couple more legs. I might post one more. I really like a lot of props on DraftKings though more than Underdog. It seems like they really price things pretty efficiently. Yeah, these are the 3. Caulfield does make me a little nervous. It's funny how that's like one of the bets that I love the most, and we're asking for 2 guys to get 4 shots, but I really love both those, Kucherov and Caulfield. I love both games, especially for the teams. You know, I honestly I like the Columbus side just as much. We're gonna go game by game. Like I said, I'm gonna give everyone like another minute to jump in here. And I also promised my buddy I'd text him this picture of my betting slip, and I'm gonna forget. I told him I send it to him at like 5, but alas. Okay. All right, we got 7 people here. I think that's probably good enough. So this is gonna be the format you're gonna kind of see as I go. Yeah, that's fine. I think let's try this one. These are the things I still need to. This is why it's a dress rehearsal. Okay, that might be worse. I think it's yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this. Does this look best? I think this is best. I'm going to go with it for now. Everyone can see everything okay, I'm sure. So I kind of just going to put together a nice little sheet to start with to go over each game. We're going to go right in order with what we have on puckluck.com. Most of this is, I think all of this is free on puckluck.com. I'm not really giving away any trade secrets here. And I'm just going to compare it to what the sports books have because that's most valuable. So if you've never seen this before, your top sheet, I don't know, image is both goaltenders tonight. So we have both of them projected for a pretty high save total, both over 30. This is a game that I also love. I think there's a lot of pace here. Columbus has pushed pace pretty well, and Tampa's not been fantastic defensively. We talked about it in the Morning Skate podcast, and basically our, you know, at least my belief is I'd rather bet on Tampa figuring it out a bit more defensively and controlling more of this tempo that I think exists than going off on a limb and saying that there's been enough time for us to demise that Tampa's bad defensively and that Columbus is going to keep it super competitive. While I think there's some interesting lines on the Columbus side from what we've seen so far, I still think Kucherov is the best bet for prop here. The minus 160. So if you look at the bottom now, let's go to the bottom. Puck luck line is what the model is saying. And of course, the model is not going to have a VIG because the model is just going to give you a percentage of 2 teams that can win. And it's not going to say it's going to be 100%. So minus 160 for Tampa, and they're minus 162. So our model is very, very similar to what the sports books have. And thus, there's no bet on either money line for us tonight. It does like the over a decent bit. The goaltenders in this matchup are not fantastic. Tompkins making like his first start. So, yeah, not a ton here to really bet, in my opinion. You can maybe shade the over. And I really like Kucherov, but we can talk and anyone can ask me about any props. You know what? This is what I was thinking. So I'll just go from here and I'll exit and I'll pull up and then I'll go. I didn't have the right game in, of course, and I'll pull up this and we'll just take a quick look at this as long as it's big enough. And if it's not big enough, you know what? Maybe I'll go full screen when I show this and we'll go back and forth. And if anyone says anything, just let me know on the way. So Kucherov averaging almost 8 shots attempts per game. Like I said, I like this matchup. I like this game a little bit more. So I think, that number should hold true. And I think if he gets 8 or 9 attempts, it's pretty likely, 55% right now. Like I said, I shade this game being even better. So I think it's decently likely he can, with his ability, get over that 3.5 mark better than the sportsbooks have it. So I really like that bet. Werenski's good, but again, defensemen don't hit the net as much. He's hitting it at even a better rate than he probably should be. And I find with Stamkos, I don't mind going back to the well at all. But I think if you're looking at Kucherov and Stamkos and you want to add it to a parlay, I just feel safer with Kucherov, but I definitely like both of them. And I'm still pretty high on Fantilli. Very, very good numbers. The role on the first power play should still be there for him. So that's mainly where I'm looking here as far as shot attempts are concerned. Is there anyone again? This is the delta I was talking about before. So who's getting lucky? Who's getting unlucky? Fantilli's getting very unlucky. So on top of everything else, so I think he's definitely in play in DFS. You can definitely bet him if you'd like. I think straight bet on him for score tonight is awesome. Like I'm down for it. I think especially anything above like 250 to 300 range. I like it a lot. But I'm going to move on to the next game because I'm definitely going to go way too long at this current rate. So let me know questions on the way. And let me go back to this. Okay, it's going to start the whole thing over. Fantastic. So next is Florida at the Red Wings. We have this game priced exactly as the books. Again, it's not going to be like that every single time. I promise. This game, I think there'll be shots. This seems even a little bit lower than I anticipate. I kind of like the Florida side here a little bit. I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to stick to the model on most of this stuff at all times. But it is probably fine. Okay, that's the wrong one. Where? That one. So I'm fine with taking a look at his Florida side. I think, the over-under here is almost interesting. It's right on the line. I think it's probably a decently popular over. I'm going to fade it myself. Again, no real bets on the money lines or anything. There's a few things I really do like here, and I didn't include anything in my slip, I don't believe. But we'll pull up again. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit here after the first game. Okay, hold on. I need to fix one thing in my life, but I can't fix it today. Okay, come on. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button. Let's go to our full screen. We're gonna get better at this. I'm gonna start to try to figure out the best way to do it. Again, this is dress rehearsal. We're not at the final product yet. So let's take a look at these two teams. And the one player that I really want to highlight here is Matt Tkachuk. I love his line tonight, like in general in DFS, with Verhaeghe and Lindell. I think it's very, very strong. He's averaging probably more shots than you'd think and just being incredibly unlucky. I mean, his expected fantasy points to his actual here. So we're looking at X being, 14.82 per game. He's only getting 11.61. Like that is going to flip for this guy any second now. The top line has been absolutely world beating for the Florida Panthers. And I'm sure, both top lines here are really outperforming their metrics, but they're very talented. It's not like you're talking about bums here. Sam Reinhart, Brinkett, Barkov, these are really, really good players. So it makes sense. But I really like to try to bet on guys that are underperforming because the lines are much lower on them. And it's just, if they're as talented as Matt Tkachuk, that is. I'm not just anyone. I don't look at, if it was Mark Stahl, I wouldn't say, oh, got to jam him. But Lindell, like all the boys. No Bennett, he's back on the IR. Very unfortunate situation there. So I'd take a look at Matt Tkachuk, but I think the best way to bet on him is in DFS. And I think you could bet on him in, your underdog drafts, you can bet on him in DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever. And if you want to throw him in for shots, I think it's justifiable. But you do run the risk of his line mate Verhage. And last game, I mean, I'm pretty sure Lindell had 5 shots on net. Like there is a lot of mouth to feed. So that line's really going to have to dominate. And I do worry that the matchup's a little bit steep for me to feel good about that in a parlay. It's a fine straight bet, but Matt the Chuck in a parlay over 3.5 feels, like I said, just a little bit thin. Okay, let's do it this way. From current slide. Now you're using your head, DJ. Work a PowerPoint. So next game, Carolina at the Rangers. This one, it kind of shades a little bit over for the model. And of course, another one where it's priced very effectively. I really am just fading this game entirely. I'm not even going to go to, I'll go to R for 2 seconds if anyone wants. I have no interest in this game. I'm not playing it in DFS, and I really just don't care. Like, could the Rangers score 5 on Freddie Anderson and ruin your under bet? Sure. And I just have no interest. I think this game is priced correct, and I have no interest in the player props because on one hand, I worry about, like I said, Freddie Anderson being bad and allowing goals, but all the Rangers players are priced pretty, again, efficiently. So, I'm just going to skip this game and move on if that's okay with everyone. I do want to try to keep this under 20 minutes tonight if possible. And I have just no interest in betting anyone or any side in this game. Just keep an eye out for if you're watching or not. We're going to definitely go to Hockey Viz and check this game because Svechnikov's role is increasing. He's back on the top line. It should be on the top power play. So let's keep an eye on this game. Like, I think you're going to learn stuff from this game, but I just don't think tonight there's anything on the board that feels worth betting, and there's enough games to fade it. This game, on the other hand, I'm absolutely in love with. We have it as a game that not only projects for a lot of goals, but the pace should be there for it to can get the goals. The only issue you kind of face in this game is that both teams have 3 pretty stacked lines, at least in some capacity. We can feel decently confident that we know some of the catalysts for success for both teams if the game were to get over. And I think that for all that reason, it's why I like Fiala so much, is because he just is the guy the power play is running through. He has a really, really good lineman in Pierre-Luc Dubois, who I also like for a point tonight. And on the other side, I also, I'm betting through Brady. I'm betting through Stutzel. They're just priced a little bit high. It's hard for me and everyone else on Ottawa. And I do want to mention for your DFS pros out there, Ottawa is without Artem Zub and definitely has a lot of value on those cheap defensemen tonight. So Bernard Docker, Hamonic, keep an eye on them. Whatever you want to do, you're kind of playing for a blocks bonus, but they get enough minutes in this tempo of a game. Like, if they hit the blocks bonus and get that lucky assist, you're kind of sitting incredibly pretty with a minimum salary player in Bernard Docker. On the Kings side, Doughty's there on defense, I guess, but it's hard to figure out the perfect stack here. So I do think it's kind of, I'm going the Dubois Fiala route myself, but Kempy's been great too. He's really coming into form. So it's a bit of a, I don't know. It's a bit of a back and forth for me on how I would approach this game from a DFS perspective, but from a betting perspective, like I said, I think Fiala is just mispriced for a point, especially. The shot on goal is there, and I think it's bettable, but I do think you're adding quite a bit of variance just because both of his line mates in Leferrier and Dubois will shoot. They like to shoot, and if Fiala is very, very good at distributing the puck, as I'll show by just, I guess, the raw numbers of what he's done this year, when it loads, like I could say it as well, but he has like 100 assists. So 1 goal, 11 assists. That's because he's just such a skilled distributor of the puck. And I think what the most amazing part is he's really not even outperforming his expected by much. Like, guy has 12 points in 9 games, and he's basically, the math is saying, yep, correct. While Dubois has been really unlucky as his line mate, he should have more. Just again, sometimes it's tough. You get no secondary assists. You only get 3 primary. You're just kind of getting unlucky. So that's why, Dubois, I think, is priced worse than Fiala. But if you're parlaying it, I think that Fiala's safety is just a little bit better because of how valuable he is to that power play. Oh yeah, and GA also mentions for Ottawa, there's no Shabbat. I guess, that good to note if you're not checking on that stuff. He should be out for a little while. Do love this game. But there's really no prolific rate shooter. Like, there's just a lot of very good rate shooters here. And again, that kind of scares me when I'm betting a shot on goal in a parlay where it's like, I don't have a ton of faith in where it's going to come through. Like 3 guys probably going to hit. Could be 3 guys that are not even really all that listed. I think, yeah, like, I mean, I'm looking at Kempe, I'm looking at Brady. It's a little bit nerve wracking, but I do love this game. So I did want to touch on it a decent bit. But Fiala is my favorite play here. And I think that underdog, like over on points, is pretty sharp because he's kind of an all categories player. And he scores 1 goal, game over, you win. If he gets assist, you're probably getting there no matter what. And he can, hit and block and shoot. Go to the next slide. You can do it. There we go. Islanders and Capitals. This one is, I believe, also not an edge. Wow, this is tough break. I mean, I guess, well, it likes the Capitals. The model thinks the Capitals are fine. It's mainly because the Islanders, contrary to popular belief, are playing more fun hockey and they're allowing stuff defensively. They should be getting Mayfield back. We should know that pretty shortly. So keep an eye on it. Not betting anything, money line, etc. Again, this game just isn't all that interesting to me. I honestly was shading the over. We talked about it yesterday being like the lowest total on the slate, and that's changed. The over was better yesterday than today. I feel like I missed the boat. I thought about betting it, didn't do it. I'm not going to do it now. I do think there could be goals here. But again, I think it's going to be a bit more of an efficiency. And both teams, in many respects, it's all through the top 6. So I feel safer about where it's coming from than the last game. Like I think the last game has more opportunity for goals and more opportunity for shots, not by a ton, but by a little bit. But this game, I really feel confident where it's coming through. And that is, I mean, I'll just spoil the surprise. It's Bo Horvat, though. And I think his pricing is just pretty wrong for his point. I think the shots are good too. I think, Brock Nelson's shots are good too. Like I like all of them. I like Ovi's for shots. I think the 4.5 is a little bit tough to pay. Like all of them though. I'd be totally fine with even looking a little bit off the board, but again, sometimes it's really not worth adding too much variance into your mix for no reason. Oshie and Ovi have still been very unlucky. Andersley as well, but like, where is the offense coming through? I mean, Ovi's averaging 9 shot attempts per game. Nelson's way up there. 80% of Bo Horvat's shots have been on net. That number is like, it's going to regress, but that is impressive. I was really surprised to see that. I thought he'd been shooting more because he's been so successful getting shots on net. But yeah, he has 33 shots on net, averaging a little over 5 per game. That's impressive stuff. And again, that just more speaks to me. It's like, okay, so he must be getting in good opportunities. And he's playing with Matt freaking Barzal, and Barzal is also getting in good. Like, I love that line. Like, it's a really, really good pairing. Bo Horvat for an assist. They want him shooting on the power play. It just kind of all comes together for me. That's the best angle in this game. So that's where I'm going to put my money tonight. Yeah, I don't think I need to say much more than that. So the next game, really, I like. I don't often feel guilty on something, but this morning I woke up and I looked at everything and I saw Matt Portois plus 140 for a point. And I put it in my thing and I'm like, okay, hold on. It's got to finish a couple things for work. I'm going to get back to it. I jump in plus 120 and I'm like, I should just bet it right now. And I get a phone call and I'm like, 1 second. I'm telling you, within 10 minutes of it going from 140 to plus 105, should have bet it, should have posted it, should have been all over it. Whatever. It's still 105 if you want to bet it. He's not on the first power play. I don't love this game in general. I definitely we're shade under here. We also are, I think a shade on the Bruins are, and again, it's priced efficiently. I think that we're going to get to some later games where there's a little bit more of a gap. I don't have a ton of interest in this game in general. Really, there's no bet on the board that I'm taking tonight in this game. I think you could convince yourself of anything, but I'm just going to move past this one and keep this going because I'm almost reaching the 20-minute mark, albeit I started a few minutes late, and I think I'm about halfway there. So I have no interest in this game in any capacity. Devils and Wilds, Matt Boldley's back. Oh yeah, no, I know I'm probably the worst self-promoter in the world. Hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever you do your stuff. Is there anything else? Subscribe. Morningscape Pod. I'm going to start adding more links and stuff, and again, giveaways to come in the future. But anyways, with this game, it's a good under bet in my opinion. I kind of like that myself. I know the Devils are going to push the pace, but I think that this under 6.5 is probably sharp. I don't have it in my mix right now. I don't think it's my favorite bet on the board in this game just because of how much I like the Timo Meyer point prop, but it's definitely leaning towards an under. we have the Wild as a little bit of an edge. They get Matt Boldy back. They're at home. I think we're forgetting about how valuable Nico Hischier is. Gustafsson was really good last year. I think he can get back to decent form, but again, I'm not really betting. It's just again like I try to look at every single angle in every single game and look what the best is, and I just don't really think it's all that close to me when you have now a true first line in New Jersey. Like even though I think like I think there could be about 5 or 6 goals in this game, right? And I think the Wild could be competitive or even win. It should be a close game. Like I think it could be a classic 3-2 game. But the Devils only scored 2, or even if they score 3, who's going to be on the ice? Timo Meier, because Timo Meier is on that top line with Hughes, with Toffoli. The rates haven't been fantastic, as you see here, which is why I'm kind of just out on his shot prop. But he is, I think, more involved than people are kind of giving him credit for. 4 primary assists, 7 points in 8 games. This guy's almost a point per game. And that was, with him not even really being on Jack Hughes' line until recent, still in the top power play. I don't really see too much of like why I wouldn't be betting him for a point at minus 130 or minus 135, whatever it is. Like if you're stapled to Jack Hughes right now, you're going to be in the mix for me. And yeah, GA is honestly making a good point here. It's going to probably come down to special teams, and I think that he could be involved in that mix. So actually, let me just double check. They didn't have it in practice today. It's Bratt, Hughes, Toffoli, Luke, and Timo. Yeah, no, it is that. It has to be. I can look it up after. We'll look at Hockey Viz briefly if anyone has any questions. I want to mix it in more, but I just didn't have time to add like 100 slides. So you might be looking at this as well and saying Dougie's averaging 8 shots on goal or 8 shot attempts per game. That's really freaking good. I do think his shot prop is it's out there for you. Austin Mercer has been very unlucky. He's playing with Jesper Bratt now. Like he's a good player, but just not getting enough run. But again, Timo Meier also incredibly just hasn't really gotten the output that he deserves, albeit not like an incredible amount of fantasy points he's been expected, under 10 DraftKings points per game he's been expected on. But yeah, I think this is a good get right spot for him. And again, Matt Boldy returns, so exciting to see what he can do. Hopefully, get back to what he was at, but I think it's just kind of too soon to bet on any of that stuff yet. So we'll keep it moving. We'll get over to the Stars and the Oilers. A couple things I like here, but I just not betting it. I really, bang the hammer for this Oilers team. Like they've been bad, their record's bad, but it's really largely been they just cannot stop the puck. And I just think Stuart Skinner is a better goalie than that. And I'm just going to go off the belief that like I don't care about goaltenders as much as the public, and that's just how I'm going to continue to hopefully find success. And with all that being said, I just don't really know if this game has the firepower to really get there. And with the pricing on the Oilers and the pricing on the Stars on a true road back to back, I'm just not interested. This game screams to me under, and the model says, pretty close. And I just say, screw it. But it does like Dallas a little bit. And I think that's fine though, even though, but I'm just not going to bet. Like I said, I'm not going to bet it because I'm going to believe that this Oilers stuff that's being fed into the everything right now because of the goaltending being, it has to be the worst in the league by a decent margin. I'm going to say they right the ship pretty quick here. And I'm just going to fade this game in general because I didn't find anything either that was that interesting. I could go back to Pavelski. It's Leon and McDavid together with like Fogle or something. I don't think you're going to find a Fogle prop. No, thank you. So I'm just going to move on to the Canadians and the Coyotes. I really do like this game a lot. It's again, like I don't think there's any crazy good value in the betting market here. But I think one of the better bets on underdog, and I couldn't include it because I had Cole Caulfield, is taking Ingram saves over Jake Allen. I think this Canadian team is just actually maybe a little bit better defensively than we give him credit for. Is it the pick of the day? What's the pick of the day? It's Dallas is the pick of the day. Is that what you're telling me? I didn't even look yet, honestly. I think he was just posting it. Man, there's not a ton of edge tonight, is there? Let's hold on. Let me take a peek at this now. I didn't see the official posting yet. We were talking about this stuff. The Stars is really the pick of the day with that line. I'm fine. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm betting it. I mean, I bet every one of them. So, yeah, okay. Stars plus 130 is the pick of the day. There's just, I guess, there's just not a ton of that. I mean, like most nights, we're finding that there's normally a much bigger gap. Um, I'll tell you, Matt likes it. I heard he dropped 10 points too. But it was plus 130. So that's why, because it was bigger before. Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with it. Like, I mean, I'm gonna put money on it. I've been betting all of our picks of the day and they've been doing well. So okay. We'll keep it moving though. This game, like I said, I like on underdog, I like the Ingram saves versus I think it's Jake Allen plus 0.5. I just think this Canadian team is a little bit better than people give him credit for. I was really debating between Caulfield, Suzuki, and Monahan for a point, but I just like Caulfield a little bit more for shots, and I'm just going to kind of touch on it and keep this going because we're getting to the end here. And I'm going to get hopefully better at keeping this shorter because I really want this to be digestible for anyone that isn't on the live stream. I want it to be kind of usable for anyone. But Cole Caulfield, I mean, you're talking about a guy, 8.56 shot attempts per game. 50% of them are getting on net. In a pretty good matchup against a home back-to-back team. But man, I really, really think this Cole Caulfield guy is something special. And this number is, I think it could even go higher. Watch this guy play. He is shooting from all angles and he's starting to find more success. This 48% on net, I think could even go higher. He has the ability. So I'm going to keep buying on him. But you definitely, I mean, he's got 10 points already in like 9 games. You could give that a look. And then we talked about Monahan, but this guy is almost a point per game player and they have him priced at like a pick 'em. He's on the first power play. But I like the Canadians a lot tonight. I talked about it on the podcast. So keeping that Cole Caulfield bet in mind. Next, Predators and Kraken. I'm not going to stay long here on this one. We have a Kraken team that's running 4 lines. They have 3 lines that are pretty spread out. A lot of people are looking at the McCann line and saying, well, this is line 1, right? Jared McCann. I get it. But all the ozone starts were going to the Bjorkstrand Veneers Karate Kid line. And I don't love that. Yanni Gord has kind of been known as one of their more shutdown centers. They like him on faceoffs in the defensive zone. So you're taking away the best option on the Kraken, not taking him away, but you're kind of diminishing it. I'm just going to fade it. I'm not playing Russian roulette tonight with the Kraken. I'm not playing Russian roulette tonight with is Fleet Forsberg going to hit the net or not. I'm just going to fade it. I'm going to move on. I just don't even care. I think people are going to like, I think someone mentioned the Grubauer saves. We have it priced like that's what he is. Like he's literally 25.5. I get it's low, but I don't like this game. I'm just going to move on. Jets and Vegas. I think a lot of people that bet the Jets early felt good because this line dropped a ton from last night to today. Right now, it's now kind of priced correctly. This Vegas team is much better, but this is a Vegas team that should be able to very much shut down Winnipeg's high-powered offense, which has been bad and has not been very high-powered. I want to bet Ehlers so bad because this guy is shooting right now. I mean, he is not getting as much ice time as he deserves, and he is just absolutely putting the puck on net from everywhere. I just can't do it. You can definitely look at Eichel and Marchessault and find something here, but I'm just going to fade this game myself. I respect this Winnipeg team, and I also very, very much just respect Vegas defensively and Mark Stone in that line. I'm just not going to play games here. I'm going to move on. But I do like Eichel a lot in DFS tonight. That he is just mispriced at whatever, like 7,800 or whatever. So if you want to bet on Vegas, it's probably there. Again, look at these totals, look at Vegas's implied totals, and just realize that models are not going to probably be jamming Vegas as much as they could. They also might be overvaluing Connor Hellebuck. So I think if you're going to attack Vegas, you're just doing it in daily fantasy and trying to bank a big amount of money rather than bet like a minus 200 point prop. And finally, as Matt Moody once said, the Sharks are not as bad or not that bad. I agree with that. I honestly thought this was going to be the pick of the day with the Sharks. It's not quite big enough. I really want to bet the over here myself. I think the Sharks are going to find a couple. It's going to happen. But man, that Quinn Hughes line, I'm just going to get to the last page. I mean, Quinn Hughes minus 175 for a point. Like, what does this guy have to do? Just so integral to the offense. I don't really get it. He was always 1.5. That line, I think, dropped last game. I mean, we'll pull up the metrics. We'll pull up the, the raw stats and everything, and we'll move on. I'll put that slip back up in a second. Let's take a look. I'm not even going to pull up San Jose. Every player on their team has been pretty bad. They've been terrible, but as Matt was kind of pointing out, and we're going to keep an eye on, they actually have started to turn a corner and just have not been rewarded at all. But I do think that team is playing much better, which is, again, I want to get on it early. But Quinn Hughes is averaging almost 9 shot attempts per game. Okay? He has 11 points in 9 games. He's far and away the guy they want shooting the puck. He's the guy they want distributing the puck. He's minus 175 for a point against San Jose. I mean, I don't get the line. I really don't. He's getting an exorbitant amount of minutes, and he's not even getting lucky. I mean, a little bit, but not much. Like, he's actually hitting his expected nearly, just a little bit over. Like, I think he is just a smash tonight in the betting market, and very easy to include in any DFS stack with Vancouver. So again, I'll pull it back up. This is the slip. I'll post it on Twitter. I round robined it. I bet everything straight. And I might run a 4-leg without Caulfield and without Timo. Yeah, without, I mean, I don't know. I could take out Kucherov. Like, I want to just, the 4 safest things. Or I could just switch Caulfield to a point. It gets a little safer in my opinion, but yeah. So I'll post it on Twitter as well. I realistically kept this at about 30 minutes. I did not start on time. So I'm going to end the stream in a moment. Is there any questions though, before I do so? Okay. Okay. Just going to give it a second here while I wait, and I'll pull. Oh, it's on the screen. Is there anything anyone's thinking like they want to see again or whatever? I'll pull up Hockey Viz 2 really quickly. I know people appreciated that last time. And I'll just was going to pull up just like maybe 2 little things, but everyone's good. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to get into the underdog lobbies. I don't know if it's full yet. I got like 5 done during the day. The one thing I wanted to look at, I did want to look at New Jersey really quickly because now I'm wondering, do I want it? If Timo is safe and I'm in love with it as much as I should be? Was this their last game? I think so. I mean, I looked at everything, but yeah, Timo power play 1. Yeah, I don't get it. He just doesn't kill, but they love him at 5-on-5. Yeah, I mean, they just got into penalty trouble, and they kind of okay. Because I remember seeing that, I saw the minutes, and I was a little confused. Yeah, I'll post a pepper. I'll post a pepper too. I'm gonna post one. I was running out of time. I literally was down to like 5 minutes. I had 3 things in my slip, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna post my favorite 3 for now, and then I'll run one more. I will do that. Okay, let's get in the underdog lobbies. Let's close this out. We diminished like 12 minutes. We're gonna cut even more next time. So thank you for watching. I'll be back probably not tomorrow, but maybe I don't know how many games. No, there's like 2 games tomorrow. I will not do it tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back maybe like Saturday.